Everybody, it's good to have you with us. That's the Jet, Jason Terry, right over there. This is Greg Anthony. I'm Matt Weiner. Good to have you with us. You got to feel good for Monty Williams. Got to feel good for Phoenix Suns fans who had waited 10 years just to be in the postseason, 11 years just to be in the postseason, and now headed back to the finals for the first time in 28 years. And Jet, they earned it tonight, and Chris Paul in particular just took over this game in the third quarter.
Congratulations to CP3, man. It's been a long, hard road, and it's still not finished yet. But the feeling of getting to your friend.
And then the perspective of, think of the stage of his career. How many years he's been at this level. I mean, even this year, 16th season?
16th.
He was in the top 5 for MVP. He goes to a team that didn't make the postseason. Not only last year, the last 10 years. Takes him to the NBA Finals. And, yeah, he didn't win the MVP, but, that's what value is. People get caught up so much in your statistics, and they don't focus on your impact, the intangible impact, your ability to motivate and elevate those around you. And you see how those guys not only revere him, but he inspires them, And when they needed him most, he was at his best.
Right.
Down the stretch, on the road, after the demoralizing, and in this case, it was his ability to score the basketball. And, you look at those two games, how about what he did in Houston the year they went to the conference finals before the hamstring at the end of that game 5, where I think he had 41. I mean, to me, that's what clutch is. And that's why this man's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he's going to go down arguably as the best small park point guard that ever played a game. When you get past all the hyperbole and we have time to let all this stuff sink in, when you go look at the tangible record and resume that he has put together, it's going to end up being second to none. He's All-NBA 10 times, All-NBA defense, I think 7 or 8 times.
A bunch.
He's led the league in steals 6 times, assists 4. I mean, there's nobody else that's accomplished those kinds of feats, man. And I just tip my cap to the man.
Boy, and he and Monty Williams go back a long way to their New Orleans days, and now they're headed to the NBA Finals together. Let's hear from the Suns head coach.
Hey, guys, congratulations. We're going to start with Colin Harmon with ABC 15.
Monty, congratulations. This journey that you, Chris, Book, everyone has been on, how do you describe what this moment is like tonight?
I couldn't do it justice right now. I'm just unbelievably grateful for the blessings that I've received as a coach, working with people like Randy, getting to coach the players, moments like this, just out there on the floor talking to a few of the guys. They were trying to figure out the feelings we were all having. And I remember being in those moments when I was, in San Antonio. It's hard to describe. You're just grateful for it. And we know we have more work to do, but it's hard to describe it in the moment. You're just grateful for being in these moments with people you're with every single day. And thankful for your family, thankful for, again, the people you work with, thankful for the fans that travel. And to be able to win a game like that is huge for the organization, the city, all of that stuff. So that's what I have in my heart right now. It's just a lot of gratitude, and I'm just so thankful God has given me the job I have, and I get to work with the people I work with.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Kellen Olson.
Congratulations, Coach. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Chris Paul, that late third, early fourth, where it was just a takeover. Just speak to how you were watching him. Was a matter of just, you talked about taking the paintbrush out of his hand in New Orleans. You certainly let him have it in that
Well, I've told you guys from the jump I wanted to stay out of his way. And there was questions about his production before tonight. And in my heart, I felt like it was a matter of time. I didn't know it was going to be like that, but that's who Chris is, and he was tired, and he was still making those kinds of plays, getting to the basket, the threes, orchestrating everything. And I'm grateful that I get to coach him again. When I first had him in 2010, and he went on actually to come here. In your wildest dreams, you couldn't have, put it together in this way. And so to watch him out there tonight, I was so grateful to be on his side, and then I really enjoyed watching him and his emotions after the game. I was like, I must be getting old now because I'm enjoying watching other people. You know what I mean? It used to be about me. Now I'm looking at everybody else having a good time. I'm like, man, I'm getting old.
Well, yeah, I saw at one point you had your arms around him over his. What was that moment like? You connected with him finally.
I mean, it's just authentic. That's what I felt like doing. I'm not into cool. I just felt like hugging him. And I think his parents were right behind us, and he was emotional. I felt for him, and I had my emotional time before the game. That's why Randy's sitting here with me today. About 2:30, we were in the locker room, and it was just Randy and I was like, man, Randy, we're so close. And then Randy starts telling me what he felt about me, because he's been with me since day one in New Orleans. And I broke down before the game, and so I understood the emotions that, Chris was dealing with. I just ran out of tears. I used all mine up about 2:30, 3 o'clock today. So when Chris started crying, I told Jay, I said, Jay was laughing, he's like, Chris is gonna start crying. I said, yeah, I had mine early. He looked at me, I said, dude, I broke down about 2:30, 3 o'clock today. I was gone, because Randy had just spoke from the heart to me about some things that we've been through. He's been with me every step of the way since New Orleans and now. So just grateful for those moments.
Congrats again, Coach.
Thank you.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Gina Mizell.
Congratulations, coaches. Monty, I saw you had a moment with Devin too, with your arm around him. You look at the moment that he had last year, and you told him in the locker room at the bubble, you've been through a lot. He stuck around in this situation. There are a lot of situations that end up differently like this, but he stuck around in Phoenix, and for him to get here, just how do you feel for him as a coach and a friend?
I just feel I'm happy for him, because I've been with him every day now athletically for 2 years. So I've seen the work, I've seen the passion, I've seen his family and how they, not just him, but they want it. They love Phoenix. They don't want to go anywhere. They wanted to do it there. And so for us to be in this position to go forward and have a chance to win a championship, it takes me back to my first conversation with him at a restaurant in Scottsdale. He looked me right in the eyes and he said, Coach, whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. And that was the beginning, and so to see him in this position is gratifying, but he'd be the first one to tell you, we enjoy this, but we know we have more work to do. He's dead set on competing for a championship, and that's been his focus, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Dave McMenamin.
Guys, congrats. Randy, I'll ask you, what is this moment like for you, and just that conversation earlier in the day, just how did that unfold from your perspective? And what was
well, it's been great to be alongside this gentleman for, what's now, 7 years? 5 in New Orleans and 2 here. He respects the position, and that's really gratifying for me to see how much work he puts into it. I told him today, we'll have a situation that we want to talk about at the end of the day before we all go home. I know the next day he's put in the time to come up with a solution for that situation. And you respect that. I've seen that for 7 years. I've seen the growth for 7 years. So that's really special for me to see. And it's been 20 years for me to get back to this point. So it's, you got to put in the time, I guess. It's a grind, but I'm happy to be here.
Next is Dave McMenamin with ESPN, and then Mark Spears.
Congrats, Monty. Congrats, Randy. Monty, I guess both of you being basketball lifers and knowing what it's like to keep your ultimate grind and all that. Do you have any sense of the opportunity tonight, how special it was? Chris Paul playing his former team, making finals for the first time, playing for his former coach in the new situation. all of that coming together? Could you put words to it?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, I wouldn't do it justice. It'd be really hard to do that, but you just never think that you're going to have those kinds of opportunities. It's a bit of a sweet spot, you know. We haven't won the championship that we want to win, but to see it come together like this, for Chris to be able to come back here, Randy and I and Willie Green were together with him in New Orleans. Then, you know, he left and we stayed in contact. Randy and Chris stayed in contact. We were all still tight. Then for us to get back together again and do this, like, how do you put that into words? You know, you're just like watching it from afar. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're in it, you're just kind of watching it like, wow, this is pretty cool. And I'm really happy for Chris because, again, I see the work that he puts in. I see the care. You saw the tears after the game. You know, you never know if you're going to be in these positions. And you watch guys get there 3, 4, 5 times. Some people get there, you know, more than that. And you're like, man, I've worked my tail off, you know. And then you just realize it's a blessing because everybody works at it. And so if you get a chance to be a part of it, you realize you've been unbelievably blessed. And so to see it come together the way that you described is pretty cool.
Next is Mark Spears with ESPN, and then Jovan Buha.
Both of y'all, congratulations. Can you tell me just about this? So much happened today that we forget that Chris was out, that he had the COVID issue.
Yeah.
I mean, can you talk about that to where you are now? And then also, he was balling today too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is like a game, I don't know when's the last time he's played like this, but you can talk about like just how this whole series started and then also what you saw tonight from him.
I mean, for him to put up 41 and 8 and control the game that he did, like, this is the second time we've closed the team out, and he's, you know, I think he had 37 in the closeout game against Denver. It's just who he is. But when we started the series, even before the first series started, I got the call, you know, hey, Chris might be out. And you just, your heart sinks for a second because you're like, man, like, not right now, you know what I mean? But after talking to him and talking to the team and you know, watching Jay and Book and those guys grow in their leadership roles and hold it down until Chris could get back, it's just been a emotional ride for us just in this series alone. But we've dealt with it the whole playoffs. I mean, the Lakers series, he gets a stinger or whatever that was in his shoulder. He's playing with half of his body, basically. You know, he's playing with one arm. And so I've told our guys, everything you want's on the other side of hard. You know, you just have to continue to persevere as best you can and not give up, and hopefully something good is on the other side.
This is my last question, but what can the world learn from this series?
Will, you know, you never quit. You know, he has a number of contemporaries that have won championships and been in this position, and having been around him, that's all he wants. He wants to be a part of winning, and he's persevered through a lot. You know, injuries, playoff heartbreak. You know, being as close as he was in Houston, and getting hurt, and not having a chance to compete for a title. I know that burned him, and so for me to be able to, you know, watch that and then be in a position with him to go forward and have a chance is pretty cool. If you can learn anything from Chris Paul, is to keep going, don't quit, serve others, because that's what he does. He cares about his teammates. He spends a lot of time. You guys have no idea how much time he spends with these young guys on our team. And I think when you serve people like that, they follow you, you know, and that's why he's such a good leader, because he serves the guys that are around him.
Next is Jovan Buha with The Athletic, followed by Dan Woike.
Hey guys, congrats. I want to ask about DeAndre. This was his 11th double-double of the playoffs, and you know, kind of bounced back from last game where it was, I guess, subpar by his standards. But this was the second time he did that in this series. What have you seen from him in terms of his growth and, more importantly, his consistency?
I think with DA, Randy could attest to this because he and Mark Bryant spend more time with him than I do, actually. But he's just learned how to embrace the grind. you know, the day in, day out work, and then he's starting to see it pay off on this level. You know, it's one thing to see it pay off in the regular season. It's totally different to see a guy dominate series after series after series and see all the work that he's put in and all the things that they do every single day. Randy and Mark and the group of bigs, I think that's what I've seen from him. He's embraced the work. He's embraced being a part of the scouting report. He's embraced coaching. He understands that we're trying to call him up, not out, and how much we care about him. He's embraced it all. And at first it wasn't as easy because he didn't know me and I really didn't know him, and there was a lot of new stuff coming at him, and then he had the pressure of being a #1 pick. Once he got all of that out of his mind, I think he just embraced his role and embraced the grind of trying to be a really good NBA player.
Got time for 3 more. Next is going to be Dan Woike with the LA Times, and then Mark Medina.
Hey, Mark. I think it might have been the third quarter when the Clippers went on that 10-0 run. They pull coverage out of the defense. Chris is open and he hits that shot.
Yeah.
How big of a shot do you think that was?
It was a shot that helped me loosen up in a certain area of my body. You know what I mean? That was the deal. You know, it was getting to that point where I used the timeout on a challenge, and so my timeouts were starting to get a little dicey, and for whatever reason they didn't guard him on the right wing, and they just kind of stared at him, and it was a moment. You know, Chris loves those moments, but when he hit that shot, it was almost like symbolically he was like, "Coach, I got it." You know, and he's done that time and time again this season.
Did he say anything in that timeout that you remember?
He and I were both talking about poise and execution. We knew that it could get a bit physical, and you know, every series we've had, it's been emotional. Stuff's happening in a closeout game. So he was talking about that. I reiterated it. I tried to give us some structure on offense, and you know, we've been talking about poise with this group for a long time, and it paid off tonight.
Final 2 questions are Mark Medina with USA Today and Melissa Rowland.
Monty, Randy, congratulations with everything. What was your takeaway of this series with how Devin encountered everything, with playing through the physical nature of the series and adjusting with the mask and playing this game?
Yeah, I mean, for as young as Book is, he's done an awful lot, you know, in his career. And I think people forget, like, even though he wasn't winning as much, he was in a lot of situations, and he was the target every night. And so I don't think this was new for him. It was just on a different stage. And I thought the world saw his fearlessness on the big stage. When we needed a bucket, he was the guy defensively. He was, you know, giving up his body. He got hit in his nose. You know, that thing is broken in like 3 places, and he got cracked in that thing a couple times tonight. But he and Chris, you know, that partnership, when you need a bucket and you're able to give it to guys like that, it's pretty cool. But, you know, Book has seen a lot. And last year in the bubble, you know, I talked to him and I talked to the team about all the stuff that he's been through, and having a lot of people say things about you when they really don't know how hard you're working and how much you care. I think the world saw tonight how much he cares, the way he plays. He gives it up on every single play. That's all you can ask from a player.
Final question is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports.
Hey, Monty. At the beginning of the season, I think it's safe to say most people didn't predict that you guys would be here headed to the NBA Finals. Did you?
I'm going to hold on to that because there's been some really cool stuff that's happened on our team, but I may have been the only one that thought that we could, or was crazy enough to challenge the team with that. But something pretty cool happened earlier this year, and to answer your question, I didn't know we would be here, but that's what we were working for, you know, behind the scenes. I'm not one to make predictions or anything like that, but when you have Chris and Book, and then you add Jay and the leadership and the growth of our team and everything that Robert's given us, we thought if things go our way, we could have a shot at competing. But I certainly didn't know we were going to get here, but I was crazy enough to think about it. for sure, because I think that's what everybody plays for. And you only get, if you're blessed, you get one shot, you know, sometimes. I've been in an organization in San Antonio where they got a number of shots, and, you know, I couldn't paint it this way, but I certainly thought about it.
Congrats again, Coach. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yep.
By a player 36 or older in a postseason game. Karl Malone had 50 back in 2000 against the Seattle Supersonics. Ty Lue came in 10-2, facing elimination, but couldn't find the magic tonight. A remarkable run for the Clippers, who reached their first ever conference finals, but it ends tonight.
Last 3 minutes, obviously, the game decided at that point. There's some times I can see you kind of looking out in the crowd. Just at the end of a 5-week run like this, kind of what are you thinking about at that moment?
No, well, first of all, I want to say thank you to the fans. I mean, they were unbelievable throughout this whole journey. We was able to get a packed house. I mean, it was great. And for those fans to show the players the love and support they showed them at the end, you know, even though we lost the game, that just says a lot about our fan base, what our team meant to this city, and it was just great to see. And I also wanted to say I'm proud of our guys. You know, been through a lot this season, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of injuries, but our guys just stayed the course. And we did something special this year, even though we didn't complete what we wanted to complete. You know, I thought we did a great job of just doing something special, doing something this franchise has never done before. And like I said, I want to thank Mr. Ballmer, Lawrence Frank, Mark Hughes, Trent Redden, and the whole Clippers organization for giving me an opportunity to do that. And like I told our guys in the locker room, I love those guys. I go to war with them anytime. And so just proud of them, even though we came up short. You know, it was a great run, despite everything we had to go through.
Is there any moment in the last 5 weeks that things pick out as something that's going to stick with you?
I can't hear you, Andrew.
Is there anything in the last 5 weeks, like this playoff run, that's going to stick with you? You feel like from just the ups and downs and the comebacks?
I just think our team, you know, just like Reggie talked about earlier, just all the different people and all the different, you know, thought process and everybody, just different people to come together. You know, Boogie late in the season, Rondo late in the season, you know, guys going down, in and out. But being down 0-2 against Dallas, you know, fighting back and competing to win that series, you know, being down 0-2 against, you know, Utah, you know, doing the same thing. And our team shows a lot of character. You know, when we're down, we can easily give up and give in, but we just stick with the game plan. Don't point fingers. We stay together. And that was just good for me to see that this year. So when I think back to this season, I think back to the playoff run we had and being down the series, you know, both those first two and fighting back and winning those. And, you know, what we did this year was special.
Go ahead, Ty, Reggie was just emotional in here, you know, being brought down to tears. What was it like? What's the emotion for this team? And you guys have come back from so many deficits. Is it almost like a shock that it's now over?
Yeah, it is a shock. You know, and I think it's a shock to a lot of guys in the locker room, and that just tells you a lot about the team. Like, no matter who's playing, we still feel like every night we have a chance to win. You know, no matter who's on the floor. And I thought we ran out of gas. You know, and you know, first thing goes when you get tired and fatigued is mentally. And I just in that first half, you know, we made a lot of mistakes defensively, a lot of mistakes coming out of timeouts or just play calls in general, just not there mentally. And that right there lets you know the guys were tired, and you know, and mentally it's one of the first things that breaks down. But you know, give you hats off to Phoenix. You know, did a hell of a job. Monty Williams is one of the best coaches in this league, and just the culture he set. You know, bringing CP in and this young team and having everyone buy into their role and what they want to do. And like I said, CP was fantastic tonight, having 41 points, you know, 8 assists. And so Devin Booker is, you know, a star already at a young age. And so they have a great foundation there, you know, with the coaches, you know, with James Jones, the job he's done, you know, with CP and Booker. So congratulations to those guys. They played a hell of a series, and let's go from there.
What do you think, Ty, this team has proven to people after how things ended in the bubble last year, too? How you guys played in this postseason?
That's behind us. You know, we talked about it all year, and I know, you know, all you guys are waiting for the playoffs to actually see that. But the thing that happened in the bubble, I mean, we lost. I mean, a lot of teams lose. You know, you're not going to win every season. So I think the biggest thing, because we was up 3-1, that was a bigger deal. But I think if it was 2-2 and 3-3 and we lose Game 7, then it wouldn't have been a big deal because Denver's a great team. You know, we see that. So I just think leaving the bubble, leaving that behind. You know, come into this season adapting. You know, no excuses. Next man up mentality, team mentality. And I think those guys got through a lot of tough times this season, just because of that. And we have a tough, gritty group, and sticking together and playing the way we play, you know, things like this can happen. So hopefully we can build off this going into next season.
Ty, you spent a lot of the season advocating for all your guys, but as far as like advocating for yourself, I mean, you mentioned you thank the front office for giving you this opportunity, and like, how do you feel like you can kind of build off of what you have here compared to your situation in Cleveland?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't really thought that far, you know, but I also want to thank my coaching staff, you know, who did an amazing job as well this season. And it's so many that we can't even really name them because we got 1,000 coaches. I don't want to leave any of them out, but our coaching staff was tremendous this year and did a lot to help me out, you know, did a lot for the players. I think having a lot of structure, you know, this season was really good for us. And like I said, I just want to give a shout out to our coaching staff because they did a hell of a job as well.
Go ahead. Obviously, you guys look a ton of your product and big on no excuses throughout the whole thing. When you look at like the schedule you guys just played, was Kawhi, was in Zoom, not playing, not every surge. Is there any part of you that has like a little regret, like, oh, you know, just like considering how well you did despite all that?
Oh yeah, you always think about it, you know. But a lot of teams have gone through it in the past and gone through it this year as well, you know. And you know, there's nothing you can really do about it. It's part of the game, you know. And so you think about it, you know, if we had our guys, you know, what would have happened or what could have happened. But just got to move on, you know. I think, you know, next man up mentality doesn't mean that you don't care and miss those guys, but you got to have a mindset that we don't have them, so we got to come out on the floor and we got to produce in any way we can. And, you know, all season long, all playoffs long, different guys have stepped up and been huge for us, and that's the type of team we want to have. So, you know, we'll come back at it next year, you know, see what happens, and we can stay healthy, keep guys healthy, and kind of go from there.
Building off that, because I kind of want to ask about that, but like going into next year, how can this? Because you guys sort of have the building blocks.
Mark Schwartz with ESPN.
All right, let's get to the man of the hour, Chris Paul, with 31 of his 41 in the second half to reach his first NBA Finals.
Get to this point, what did it feel like to you in the third and fourth quarter when you were making all of those moments happen and you were at the peak of your powers on that floor and getting closer to that moment?
I don't even know right now. I just remember we was up 17. I came out the game, and I looked up, and we was up like 5 or 7. And you just always know these closeout games are tough. And I watch every game every night, and you just always see the Clippers. They make a run, third quarter, fourth quarter. They just get it going, and it seemed like that was happening.
Next is Dave McMenamin with ESPN, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
Chris over here. To wear the T-shirt, to raise the Western Conference trophy, do it here. I mean, I know you spoke to Rachel about it. Was that a culmination of things that you thought about in idle moments for years and years?
Man, it's been a lot, I'm telling you. Told you I was getting an MRI yesterday on my wrist, and then had all these surgeries over the years. And Tone, the equipment guy in Houston, I remember we was up 3-2. And I didn't get to play those last 2 games in Houston. And Tone had the T-shirt and the hat. You know what I mean? And I never got a chance to get it. Like, I'll never forget that. Never forget that. And Jay, our trainer here, equipment guy here, Jay texted me a couple days ago and said, "See, I got the T-shirt and the hat." You know what I mean? All you got to do is do your part. So that's the only thing that I was thinking about. You know what I mean? Is the process. This is just getting us one step closer to where we want to be.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, and then Melissa Rowland.
Yeah, Chris, I've been trying to calculate numbers. I think there was a point you scored 24 of the 30 points when you guys went up big, like 119 and 89 or something to that effect. What's it like? What was it like tonight, being in that mode where, as Jay was saying, that kept telling you, like you tasting victory, and you were like, no, and you standing there locked in. What was that like for you tonight?
Yeah, man. They had a lot of experiences, a lot of ups and downs. And we was up, it's like 5 minutes left. Jay said, "C, can you taste, can you feel it?" Whoa, he was saying some stuff, and I was like, no. I was like, no, I'm gonna stay locked in. And it just felt good, like Book plays with an edge, and I'm the same way, and over the years, people talk junk to me, and a lot of times I usually say something back, but I done changed a little, a little. And I just kept thinking, if we do what we're supposed to do, I'll get the last laugh. You know what I mean? So you stay the course long enough, you break them, and that's what we did.
That's what Jay just said about Beverly. He said that whole push that you guys knew then.
Yeah.
That they were broke.
Yeah. It hurt. It sting. It sting. Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Next up is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports, followed by Jovan Buha.
Hey, Chris, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
We all saw the emotions pouring out of you after the game. Can you describe to us what was going through your head at that time?
And I was just happy and proud of our team. You know what I mean? Not winning Coach of the Year, but we know who he is. Hell, man, I experienced COVID. You know what I mean? Just a week ago, I was here at home, couldn't be there with my teammates, and that's what you call next man up. They won 2 games in this series without me. And just shows you how crazy it is. First series, got the nerve thing, you know what I mean? Win the second series, end up with COVID. It's been a lot, man, and I want it not just for myself, but for everybody in that locker room.
Next is Jovan Buha with The Athletic, followed by Chris Haynes.
Hey, Chris. When you returned, you said you saved the Clippers talk for after the series. So now that we're at this point, I guess, what was it like to go up against your former team?
Man, it's crazy because Jason Powell, the head trainer over there, is my family. You know what I mean? We usually talk all the time, and we ain't talk this whole series. Chauncey is my family, like my brother, and we ain't talk this whole series. I'm so happy for him getting a head coaching job because me and him talked about it during quarantine, about what his next thing was gonna be. And, when he said he was gonna be a coach, I was like, you're gonna be the best coach there is, because when we played together here, we used to be in our lockers right next to each other drawing up plays. So it's been hard not to tell him congratulations, so it's a lot of ties. Dennis Rogers, who was with me for, y'all know. y'all know. D-Raj ain't just an employee, that's my family, you know what I mean? And so, when you get to the arena for a game like this and you walk past and don't even speak, these people who mean a lot to me. And so to be in a series against them, to get to this is special.
Next is Chris Haynes with Turner, followed by Mark Spears.
Congrats, Chris. Could you talk about how you evolved into a player that keeps his composure? Because during the series, you had your, I don't know if I'll call him bouts, but DeMarcus, you and DeMarcus is going.
Oh, that wolfing. Yeah, ain't nothing. Ain't nothing.
But how do you keep your composure and not respond back like
those who do? You know what I'm saying? You can do it, you do it. And I think I've just been on the other end of so many losses. You know what I mean? And I know what that feel like. And before the game, me and Jay was talking about it. We put the work in. If you put the work in, then you live with the outcome. You know what I mean? So we work. We're a work team. Past 2-3 games, I've been playing with my fingers buddy tape. These two, and I shoot around today. I said, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that tonight. And, excuse me, Book said he wasn't playing with his mask on either. And so it was good to see it all come together.
Next is Mark Spears with ESPN, followed by Sam Amick.
Chris, I saw you pointing up to the suite. I see the hat on. first question is just come to your family. I assume that's for the hometown.
Oh yeah, Trey Fo.
Talk about the hat and pointing at your family.
Yeah, Winston-Salem, that's me, born and raised. Like I always say, all these years, like we still got a ways to go. We still got 4 wins, but all these years I didn't have my hometown and my family right there with me. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it ain't just for me. I asked Jay, I got an extra hat and a t-shirt so I can take it to my brother. You know what I mean? My brother, my whole career, he didn't miss 1 playoff game I'd have never played in, home or away. So anytime we win something like that, it's for my brother always.
I saw your dad once cry talking about your relationship.
Yeah, I mean, everybody got relationships. My pops that's my dad. Fortunately.
I'm talking about the relationship between you and your brother.
Oh, yeah.
What it meant to you.
Yeah, because it's just us. It's just us. I ain't got no sisters or nothing like that. It's just me and my brother. And my brother been with me since day one. Like literally. And everybody know my brother. You know what I mean? The referees know my brother. Everybody know my brother because he's there. You know? Like some people be there, but my brother is there. He always there. He tell me what I don't want to hear, and he just, I mean, I love him to death.
And you reveal that you did bark plays to him when you were out?
I did. That wasn't true. What, did I texted my brother?
Yeah.
No. My brother know the game on his own. He was telling Jay his own stuff. You talking about when I had COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was texting the guys that work in the back. My brother was saying his own stuff. He know the game. My brother. Hey, come on up, brother.
I'll let you post up with you. I need to get it lifted. It's next to him, though. What do you think, bro?
All right, Chris, next up is going to be Sam Amick with The Athletic, followed by Dan Wojcicki.
Yep.
CP, congrats, man.
Appreciate it, Sam.
You talked earlier this year about a conversation with Willie where he asked you, you ever think about what if you didn't leave for this thing? And he said you didn't know what you might have learned, but at that point, we didn't know the story would get here. To be out there tonight when you've got Clippers fans waiting around, chanting your name and the way that it's a little bit of a Hollywood script, the way this thing went.
You gotta know, like I told you, Billy Crystal and his wife, the Hernandez family, Iger, you know what I mean? Like I played 6 years here, and a lot of these fans became my family. So Willie, he talked to me about AI all the time, who AI is obviously a hero of mine and texts me after every game. AI texts me after every game. And so Willie just said, if I could do it all over again, what I left. And I said, yeah, because I learned a lot of stuff along the way. And this is like a story book for this part, getting somewhere that I've never been before, going against the team that I always be connected to.
Got time for 3 more. Next is Dan Wojcicki with the LA Times, and then Mark Medina.
Hey, Chris. I know you want to win more than anything that drives you as a basketball player. But as some of this stuff has happened over the years, the thumb in a jersey,
Portland.
The hamstring, the Rockets,
Houston.
I mean, like, seriously.
I can run them off to you.
COVID, a week ago,
right.
The shoulder. Has it ever in your mind been like, this might not happen?
Nope. I ain't built like that. You know what I mean? It's just get to work. What was it, game 3? I found out I partially tore some ligaments in my hand. I was like, oh, here we go. But you just, I got an unbelievable team around me. A lady named Ann, you probably seen her. I hugged her when I walked off the court. She's been at every road game, home game, working on me, just trying to get me right for every game. So I'm appreciative to my team around me, my chef, all this. It's a game. It's a real live game that puts it all together.
This hit you differently, having gone through all that stuff?
Yeah, just because it's a lot. It's a lot. Even I'm a big thanks to Sam Presti for even allowing all this to happen. And I think back to my first conversations with Book. You know what I mean? With James Jones, all the stuff that had to happen in order for us to get here, right? It's just part of the process.
Final two questions are Mark Medina with USA Today and Rachel Nichols.
Chris, congratulations on everything.
Appreciate it, Mark.
Monty was saying that, from when he was first coaching the Wolves, that he noticed that you've made some adjustments, that just your leadership style, how to pick your spots of when to get on guys, when to be nurturing the team. And how do you look at how you approach that over the years? And how to
experience, you know what I mean? Just leadership experience. Like when they made that run some years ago, I'd have jumped up, been yelling over there on the bench or whatnot, but I just stayed there and was like, okay, it's cool, because you learn how to deal with different guys, and if you go crazy like that, that might make them a little bit nervous or gun shy. But I'm grateful for all the experiences, good or bad, and just gonna keep enjoying the process.
Final question is Rachel Nichols with ESPN.
I do want to ask about the two of you, that workout you did that first night, the day you were traded, and thinking back on that. And then Monty Williams has said that he tried to kind of tell you guys how to play with each other, and that pretty quickly he was like, I just need to get out of the way. What do you remember about both of those nights, or both of those experiences?
I got traded. The trade happened, say it was on a Monday. That Tuesday morning I flew in, and we had a gym, and Johnny, my trainer, worked us out. And cause then I had to leave and go shoot them State Farm commercials. Like it was all in one day. And I don't know, it's been cool, man, because you think about it, like that first or second week of the season, Coach met with us and said we had the worst starting five in the league. Remember that? Yeah. We had the worst starting five in the league, plus and minus. And me and Book, we talked about it, and throughout the season we figured it out.
That's it.
Yep. Appreciate you.
Thank you for the time, Chris.
Have a good one.
10th year's been my best year. The most challenging year. The most fun year. Not sure when you're gonna play. Ups and downs, guys being injured. Still finding my way in this locker room. First thing I told those guys is thank you for saving me. And I appreciate them. I appreciate every guy in that locker room. I appreciate Paul for getting on that phone last year at the end of the season when it was time to do a buyout with Detroit. I'm thankful for everything I've experienced being here. This city making me feel home. This organization welcoming me, my quirks, my strengths, my weaknesses. I'm not here today without this team. I'm not still playing without this team, so I thank them. They'll forever be in my heart. This will forever be a special year. Like I said, it sucks that we didn't win it, but I ride with those guys. Those guys rode with me all year, and I ride with those guys. And that's what makes this one tougher. It makes this one extremely tough. To be the ones not getting a win, to be the ones at the end of the season, not the ones hoisting the trophy. So I think that group revitalized me. They found ways to push me each and every day, to challenge me, to ask me to be better, to encourage me to be better. They were just friends. They became family, and it's been a great band of brotherhood that we built here. It's been an extremely special year under these extreme difficult circumstances that everybody's been under with the pandemic, with COVID, the last year and a half, the way this team's taken me in, the way this core group has welcomed me, the way that they've allowed me to be myself. Like I said, I'm forever thankful, forever indebted to this group.
Well, you think this team and that playoff run meant something to Reggie Jackson? You can hear it in his voice, you can see it in his eyes. Remember, this was the best result in LA Clippers franchise history. They had never made a conference finals before. When Kawhi Leonard and Paul George were on the floor, they were a formidable duo, averaging better than 57 points a game in the postseason game they played together. Unfortunately, Kawhi was not around for the last 8 games, and it's just a matter of asking, well, what if had he been on the floor? For the Clippers, looking ahead, Kawhi Leonard can opt out. We expect him to opt out and become a free agent. Assuming he's back with the LA Clippers, what kind of foundation has been laid here moving forward?
Well, you have two of the best players in our game on one team. They're a dynamic duo for certain. Just got to shore up the role players around them and come back ready, hungry. Most importantly, get healthy. You know, it's been a long, hard road for these guys the last couple of years and trying to maintain their health. They finally got their chemistry together. They're under great leadership in Ty Lue. And so their future's bright, you know, but obviously the number one goal is to bring Kawhi back and lock him in long term.
What are the priorities beyond keeping Kawhi around?
Well, they're going to have to address the point guard situation. We just heard from Reggie Jackson, who's going to be a free agent as well. They're going to have limitations on what they can offer him. So it's going to be a matter of whether or not he's willing to take a pay cut. There are going to be several teams, I would think, that are in the market for a veteran point guard, particularly after the way he's performed this year. You know, Nicholas Batum, you know, does he come back? Like, they had a lot of guys that really complimented who they were. If they can bring back that entire bunch, typically though, that's not enough. You still need to add. You got DeMarcus Cousins. Right. They probably won't re-sign him, so you're gonna have to, you know, replace that aspect as well. But make no mistake about it. I think this Clippers team, this postseason fortified them, and I think it established trust in what they have and who they can be. And so I think those are the two big ones, though. You know, obviously getting Kawhi redone and then figuring out what can we do with Reggie Jackson? Can we bring him back? Because he was a really good fit for them. And the other aspect of it, you know, he and Paul George are really close. Yeah. And so you would like to have that chemistry and that relationship continue to prosper and grow.
Paul George did not have his best offensive night. He only took 15 shots, as we referenced earlier, but did keep a streak alive. He scored 20 or more in all 19 playoff games for the LA Clippers. He was their offense for much of this postseason run when they needed buckets, and here he is after elimination tonight by the Suns.
Go ahead. Hey, Paul, first of all, congrats on a great season. What can you say about this team? I mean, you guys obviously fought through a lot of adversity, a lot of injuries, tight schedule. What can you say about the fight this team has shown from the beginning to the end of the year?
Yeah, I mean, we fought all year. Very proud of my guys, what we had to overcome throughout the year. We had injuries throughout the season, obviously injuries in the postseason. You know, we found a way to fight through it. We found a way to keep going, keep playing. You know, we just had each other's backs all year. And, you know, one of the greatest locker rooms I've been a part of.
Reggie was pretty emotional after the game, talking to us. So he was thankful for this organization, for you, for picking up the phone, for calling, getting him here. What has it meant to play with him over the last year and a half? And I guess you play a role in getting him back next year, trying to get him back next year?
Yeah, but obviously Reggie has played himself into some options, I'm sure, coming down to his free agency. Rightfully so, played his ass off. But of course, I would love Reggie to come back if that is an option. I'll try my best to play my role and to get him back to being a Clipper.
Go ahead, Bob.
Paul, I remember at All-Star break how appreciative you were of that moment. Obviously not making it last year and making it this year, and basically saying, looking around, being like, I'm still here, but you never know how many more of these you get to go to. Like, when you kind of contextualize your own season, your own journey to get through and into this season, like, what do you feel like you've learned about yourself, and how do you kind of take that into maybe this offseason and the next season?
I mean, you know, nothing that I didn't know already. The narrative of me not being a postseason player or all of that is, I never understood it. But, you know, it's not much. I've been the same person. I've dealt with stuff, you know, as we all do. Makes me no difference to the next man. But, you know, it is what it is. I came up short again. I'm proud of what we did as a team. I wasn't out to prove nothing to nobody, but to show up as a leader for this team and put us in position to get to where we got to. Again, came up short. My good wasn't enough, but there's room for improvement, which is what I try to continue to push the envelope to get better going into this summer. But it's good though. I'll look back, I'll reflect, I'll see what I need to get better at, and address it right away when it's time to start training again.
You mentioned that you're going to try and do what you can as far as Reggie's concerned. Obviously, this team has other potential free agents, Kawhi being one of them. Like, how involved do you feel like you need to be as far as the team and also just with other players on this team, just keeping that dialogue going?
Well, one of the commitment I made of signing my contract was to show I'm here for the long run, and I'm committed to this team. Hopefully that weighs on anybody's decision, but there's no hard feelings. These guys, they got decisions to make on their own. I would definitely try to, I haven't talked to any one of them, but hopefully this is where they want to continue to play and grow and be something and do something special in the long run. So yeah, I'm definitely try my hardest to recruit. That's all I can do.
This partnership between you and Kawhi started because you guys want to play together, two Southern California guys. What do you feel like the connection you guys have made, the team has made with Kawhi in this last 2 years, right? Maybe your first time being together for this long?
Yeah, I mean, we've made great connections. I think we both grown, myself and Kawhi together. I think, we really enjoy being teammates, and we see what we can be and what we can do. I'm happy. I'm happy to be his teammate. I was very excited, proud of what me and him were able to accomplish, proud of what myself and Reg were able to accomplish. So I think we got a good foundation.
This postseason, how do you balance you guys have done something no other team in this franchise history has done. It seems like there could be a what if there with the injuries, the tight schedule. How do you balance that?
I mean, there's no excuses, healthy or unhealthy. We were literally one possession from each game up to this point, one possession in each one of those games of this series being a lot different. But at the same time, we understand the healthiest team usually wins at this time, and we were very unfortunate to be on the bad side of that.
Go ahead, Al.
Paul, you were just saying that you were really happy of what you and Kawhi could do, and you saw possibilities. I'm wondering, what did you think you guys could have done? What did you see? What you guys did? Think about maybe what you guys could have done together had it been healthy.
Oh, we would be going on. This series would have been a lot different. Talk about one of the best players in the league being out, and yet we were, inches, away from getting to the next round. So definitely, it's a what if on this. The fact of the matter is, we didn't do enough. We didn't do enough to win, and that's the reason we're going home.
When you think about what this team has, and maybe, I don't know what it needs, is there anything you think that this team can add to build on what you guys did this year?
From personnel,
personnel.
No, I think we didn't get here for no reason. I mean, we had the pieces we needed. We just had pieces that got hurt during the process. It's really what it just came down to. We had the pieces to get to where we wanted to get to.
Well, if I could just ask, obviously the result isn't what you wanted, but was the process getting here, building throughout the year, was it what you wanted, what you kind of hoped it would be?
Yes, the process was as it should be. I thought this team squeezed everything we could out of what we had. We squeezed everything out of one another, and I thought we got stronger and better as the season went on.
Thank you, PG.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate that, doing to the final. Thank you. The quote, Greg, you started at the bottom, and now you're here.
Straight up.
The team is here. I saw you near the end when you was coming out. You just had a look like, I could not. Like that of excitement and all of that. What was you feeling during that moment?
Just a long time coming. You know, that's what I said to Jay Gaspar, our equipment manager. He's the only one in the organization that's been here longer than me. You know, he's going on year 30, so he was here, and Julie. So Julie's been here also. But it's been a long time coming. We've seen the bottom of the bottom for multiple years, and just keeping my head down. You know, waiting on this moment right here. And Monty coming in, building the culture, you know, him leaving us with the preparation meets opportunity. And, you know, that was these moments right here. And we took it in, we ran with it. But we still have work to do. I mean, this is nice and all, but, you know, we're going for Larry for sure.
Lastly, when you took that shot to the nose, was that excruciating with the pain there? Maybe it wasn't, but I got to assume it was.
Yeah, I mean, it hurt a bit. It's still a little tender right now. But, you know, well worth it. I'll take that over and over again, you know, for this feeling right here. So playing without the mask, just had to ditch it. And, you know, I knew opportunities like this don't come around. And, you know, I didn't want to take it lightly. So just wanted to be locked in.
Thanks, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Next is Dave McMenamin with ESPN, and then Kellen Olson.
When the Clippers went on that 10-0 run in the third, crowd's going crazy. You know, leads down to 7, and then Chris responds. What was that like as a team to experience that?
I mean, we had a timeout. We came to the huddle. We said, "Don't lose our head." I think we were up 17. They cut it to 7. So we had a game again. But, you know, people always been saying it. You hear it since you're a kid. It's a game of runs. And, you know, how you respond to those runs is, you know, can determine the success of a team. So, you know, right there you kind of have a decision to make. Which way do you want to go? In this group right here, I feel like we're tested. We've been in those situations, especially Chris and Jay. You know, so we locked back in as a team, and we got it going. Chris hit a 3, put us up 10 again. And, you know, the rest was history.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Mark Spears.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
The stat that went up after the game was that 5 previous years for you guys, it's the lowest winning percentage across all 5 professional sports when the team makes the finals or makes the championship the next year. You think about all the Suns fans that stuck with you and stuck with this team through all that. Just how does it feel to do this for them?
Yeah, I mean, that's a real love. That's a relationship that, you know, it's hard to explain with words. You know, I tell people all the time, Phoenix is my third home. And they've embraced me that way since day one. You know, and I've put my head down, I've worked, you know, and I've been through a lot of bullshit, honestly. But, you know, just being who I am and, you know, seeing the bigger picture, having a tunnel vision on, you know, what this can be. You know, I seen the parade when they didn't even win the finals. They just made the finals. 300,000 people out there right in front of the arena. So, you know, the love has been there since I've been there, even when we were at the bottom. Even when we were at the bottom, it still showed up the games. Love around the city has always been there. You know, so, you know, Phoenix is my city.
Next is Mark Spears with ESPN, followed by Gina Mizell.
Well, congrats.
Thank you, Mark.
There was a lot of family shout outs so far. I don't know if you've talked to your dad already. Or...
Talked to him. Talked to my mom already. Yeah. My sister. Yeah, man, we've been through a lot, you know, since day one, you know, before the NBA, before that, you know, they've stuck behind me all the way. And, you know, having their acceptance of me and understand what I'm going through keeps me driven every day, you know, putting smiles on their faces, being able to, you know, provide for my family, take care of my family. You know, there's no feeling like that. So, you know, that keeps me on this everyday pursuit to be legendary for real.
And I want to ask you about what kind of workouts did your dad put you through in the off season, and how did he help prepare you to get to this moment?
We've done pretty much every workout you could think of, you know, from when I first moved with him, than Mississippi when I moved down to Moss Point, Mississippi. And, I always had a love for the game of basketball. I was always a student of the game, but, I wasn't aware of the work that goes into it. So I was always good, but, he made me take it the extra mile. He pushed me. I had never been pushed before. I never had the truth told to me, at all times. Somebody that, is telling the truth out the goodness of the heart to see you succeed. You can feel that. So, it just makes you want to be better every day. But workout-wise, I've done it all.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Mark Medina.
Over here. Congrats, first
Thank
of all.
you, Gina.
To sort of build off of Rachel's question about you and Chris. We've heard about, of course, Tim being at your pre-draft workout. We've heard a lot about what you guys have done together this season. But what about the in-between moments when you guys were just going up against each other? Or how much did you guys talk? How much did you guys know each other as far as getting to a point where Chris is out there saying that the biggest reason I wanted to come here was because of you?
Yeah, Chris, like you said, he took us and me, D'Angelo, Carl, pre-draft. He came and worked out with us a couple of times, and that's where relationships started. But, I think he thinks when we played against each other the first time that it was going to be a love. But, I started talking shit to him right away. and what he says about, we almost get to fighting, that's because multiple times we've had our disagreements on the court multiple times. And, it's just those type of competitors, the players that you're like, I don't like playing against that guy, but I love him on my team. And Jay Crowder is also one of them. So I've got into it with him. Got into it with him too. So, but those are the ones that you want to go to war with. Those are the ones you want to put the jersey on for. And when it's not your day, that having people behind you, having that support system behind you gives you confidence to keep going. And just honesty. Like what I said with Mark. This group, they've been there before. They've been in these situations before. So the honesty with knowing what the bigger picture is and what we're trying to get to, has been since day one, and not a problem with us. Just somebody's messing around, let them know.
With all that said, so when you get word that the trade might be a possibility or the trade's happening, do you think, okay, yeah, we're both like kind of cut from the same cloth. This is gonna be good. Yeah,
we had some conversations before, and I knew if that went down, that he was coming to Phoenix, that we were gonna be able to make some noise.
Pretty easy to feel good for Devin Booker and a lot of folks around the NBA, past and present. Guys like Manu Ginobili are really happy for Chris Paul after all he has been through in his NBA career. 16 years in, still dominating in a closeout game in the Western Conference Finals. CP with 41 tonight, 31 in the second half, and finally headed to the final round of the NBA playoffs. And for a team, guys, that franchise that hadn't been to the postseason since 2010, what stands out to you most about this ride all the way to the finals for Phoenix?
There's a lot. I think the momentum of the bubble started it, because I think that's what made them feel comfortable about going after Chris Paul. I think that was the moment where they said, okay, we're trending. And seeing what he was able to do with a young OKC team, again, I think Monty said it, like, I don't know that they thought that the finals was a reality this year, but it ends up becoming one because of the circumstance, and you got to tip your cap to them. It's been an incredible ride. You love their player development. You love their system, their scheme. They bought in defensively. Mm-hmm. It's been impressive what they've done. And think about the journey. They knock off the defending champs, and obviously they didn't have Kawhi, but a solid Clipper team in Kawhi's absence. It's been impressive, and it's been pretty dominant. It's not like they've been pushed. They go in a closeout game. That's about as thorough as you can beat a team down on the road.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. They're a young team, vibrant, full of energy. And sometimes that's what it takes. A lot of these teams have been through some battles. They've been through a lot of injuries. This team hadn't had many injuries. The injuries they've had, they've been able to withstand and endure and find a way to get through. And I think, not only for this year, but going towards the future. I mean, obviously CP3, they'll figure that part out. But, I mean, they got a good young nucleus. DeAndre Ayton, Booker, their bench is young. Cam Johnson, I mean, you got to love him. So their future is very bright. Proud day to say you're a Suns fan. I got a guy that's texting me right now. Coached his daughter, man. He's a diehard Phoenix guy, but we'll let him live today.
Well, James Jones did a great job filling in around those young players with not only the Chris Paul deal, and obviously that was the big one, but bringing in people like Jay Crowder.
Crowder was
huge.
Torrey Craig, who they picked up for basically nothing near the end of the season. Dario Saric gave him some good minutes as well. Cameron Payne, who was basically a scrap heap guy, and had some huge moments in this series and in these playoffs. Next stop, the NBA Finals. Game 1 will be on their home floor. We'll have post-game coverage of that game and, of course, the rest of the Eastern Conference Finals as well here on NBA TV.